The other bits and pieces. Now we're inside the cab. You should be able to see the various other components. I don't know how much work you've done with them, but
shut that door just in case my phone falls. Cheers, Drake.
Right, okay. I'll go through the various bits with you. I'll be looking at the downloading of the fault systems on it. But first of all, I'll just explain a few things with you. Once you're in it, it's not that different from most tractors. Okay. What you've got here, I'll start with the gears. This is the main gearbox. This is the Eaton 6-speed gearbox. It's a truck gearbox for all intents and purposes. You see the gear pattern just down there. Okay, by the ignition key. So where it's sitting normally, it's between 3 and 4. So you push it forward for 3, pull it back for 4. Okay, so there's a neutral in the centre. Now what then adds up is you start looking over there. There's a a twist shift unit, which you pick up high, medium, and low.
I see.
Okay. Now these will operate. This is not a particularly good diagram. I could probably show it to you when we go in there sometime. But the various ways, the speed chart which you can produce from it. What they're doing is actually showing you. Well, there's a gear, and then you'll see a settings in between here. So if this is low, you've got 3 settings, which is actually the snail, the hare, and the tortoise. Or tortoise and hare, sorry. Okay. But if you look very carefully, you'll actually see some of the gear ratios here. The H1 is actually slower than the L.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if we get the glass here to see it. Okay, so those gears, it doesn't naturally follow the 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got L1, 2, 3. Then you go M1, L4, M2. Then you get H1. See, H1 is slower than a low 5. So at the end of the day, what you've got is a full range of different gears. So H1, sorry, you can go up to about, it says here about 4 miles an hour. So it's actually very slow. If you go right down to the very bottom here, then obviously you're going into medium. And then of course it's starting to look in road speeds. So when you start looking at H5, H6, that's a road speed gear. It's not really an operation gear. But what they've done is just shown you here that if you take the basic setup and your snail on this particular gear, that will pick you up at about 15 miles per hour. Move it into tortoise, that goes up to about 17 miles per hour.
Yep.
And then go into the hare, that takes you just short of 20 miles an hour. Now, that's all done at the engine revs at 2,200. Okay, so what you do is you actually press the button and you'll see it go. If you actually just turn the ignition on. Okay, and you can see that moving up and down. Can you see it? So if I want to go down, and that's what you do when you select a gear, you move forwards and up. And what's quite interesting is this orange button here. That is called the auto drive. And literally what happens is you're driving along, that will automatically change up. This is an auto shift. So if you wanted to, you're driving along, auto shift. And then as soon as you touch any of these, that takes it straight out of auto shift back into manual. So the auto is off. Did you see the symbol there?
Yep.
User, auto off. So what I can do is it finds a certain revs and changes gear. I can change that. Okay. So that's those, and that combined with that gives you your 56 combinations, or 54 combinations.
Yeah.
Okay. I know. Where is he? I haven't seen him.
Hey.
Hobgoblin.
Oh, Dobby. Did he come back?
Anyway.
Oh.
I know he said it's a very hard. When you try moving that gear lever is actually quite heavy, but when you're forwards and backwards, it's okay. But when you start moving across the gears, then you find it really it's quite heavy. Okay, so it does take a lot of muscle to move it. That's why they've gone into the class. Sorry, the Fendt shift, which they've got that dyno shift, the same one. Right, okay, so that's the gears. Just to explain here, we've got front PTO.
Yep.
Okay, and we can change it between 540 and 1000. and there's a lever down there which we do it. So you'll look
Right.
on there, you'll see there's two sets of gear lever, two sets of PTO shafts. This is my differential lock, so we can actually lock it in 4-wheel drive or lock it in 2-wheel drive, depending on what we want to do, okay, what we're operating. And this is the rear set of PTOs, so the rear PTO. That's locked, that's free to turn, and then that drives. As with all other ones, you might be familiar with this, Massey's use the same thing. This is the Bosch system, and that just simply raises and lowers your hydraulics at the back. Okay, you can lock them. Somebody's broken it now, but you can actually lock them to stop that from actually happening. So it locks into place and it stays locked. This one here is to set the machine at height, so your position control equivalent. That one there is to set it for draft control, so how much depth you get. Over here there's an override switch which allows us to raise and lower the hydraulics without having to go into that. Okay. Here is my different speed modes, steering modes. What you've got there in the centre, it looks like a bit worn pad, that's the locking setup. So you press that and then you press another one, and that will then allow you to select whatever steering mode you want. So you've got crab steer, which you can probably make out on there. You've got all-wheel steer, which allows you to turn very sharp. You've got the true tracking, and then you've got the delay steer. So what it means by delay steer is you go along, you start turning your steering wheel, and nothing will happen to the back end. So you get a certain angle, and then the 15 degrees, and then the back steers. Okay? But above all, when you switch off, or when you go on the road, it will automatically go back to two-wheel steer. And that's the difference. So you can't leave it and go down the road crab steering. Okay, so that's that bit. Now let me just switch this off again. Okay, there's all the hydraulic arms. This one here controls the front arms, which is obviously dropped down again. We'll have to get them back up.
Yeah, down lent on.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in there at the moment. We have to look at that, because that shouldn't be actually solved. It should remain stationary. Right, let's just turn on the ignition. As it may, you get the hello and all the sort of nonsense which comes with them, and then you've got a basic setup here. So, for example, here you've got typically the oil, pressure, gear, transmission, electrics. This is obviously asking us to read the manual, and your park brakes on. Incidentally, the park brake is an air brake, as you find on a truck. So when you if you lift it up and push it forwards, that's now release the brakes. Okay. If you pull it back on, you hear the brakes go on. Okay. And there's your air system. So it's not a full air system, as I said. It's actually an air over hydraulics. So there are underneath my feet here the actual main master cylinders. Okay, but they're actually hydraulically actuated. So the air is helping it. Right, let's have a look and see what else you've got. It's telling me I'm in neutral, okay, and I did show you this, but it's actually moving up on the stick there to show you which ratios I'm going into.
Yep.
Okay. Date and time, which are all the times up there. This is talking about errors, and we'll look in that in a few seconds, okay? And then it's talking about the hours you've done, okay? And when your engine revs come up, you'll actually see that come as a bar graph. You've got engine oil temperature, and you've got fuel level in there. Right, so that's how that's set up.
Has the clock just looped round again, or is this genuinely that low?
Sorry?
That's looped round again, isn't it? Must have done.
No. That's the genuine That's the genuine hours.
That's quite low.
It is 1,200 hours. It's never really done an awful lot actually. It was 2 years as a demonstrator for JCB. It was then we bought it off them in 2000, and it literally hasn't done an awful lot of work since then.
It's quite a young machine then, really.
For its age, yes. You
It's just showing about these little buttons and stuff,
yes,
isn't it?
people damage them, you see. There's absolutely no need for the top ones to be touched.
Yeah.
People have been pressing them. Okay, just
Well,
tells
I don't know about you, but that looks like it's been absolutely poked through into
yeah, because
that ain't done by
some
accident.
brain deads have done that. So that's unfortunately the case. And it does wear out a bit. Here you see that's a slight wear on there. Right, let's go into programming. There is some certain basic levels of programming which the operator can do. And that means, very simply, if I hold this down, turn the ignition on, without starting, it will then allow me to change things. So if you actually, the speedo there, if you test that, press that, one of those arrows, any one of those, and it should go to kilometres to miles.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can change it to miles.
That's an easy change.
And you can centre, just press that. And what it's got, what's the difference?
Acres and miles, hectares and kilometres, I assume.
That's right, hectares and kilometres. Next one is the tyre options. And you can switch it on and you can switch it off. So it allows you to change the tyres. Okay?
So what's that meaning for the machine? What's
right. Obviously tyres will have a different effect, and we'll see that when it comes to setting up this.
Yeah.
These ones are the standard radials to fit to them. But if you decide to put high tyres on it, you have to change the tyre size. Otherwise that affects your radar.
Right.
Press it again. That's on. Okay?
Yeah.
Or
You want it left on?
Off. Okay.
Yep.
Right. Now this one here is the tyre. Let me think what that was about. Oh yes, it's the slip. It's to do with that. You can take that out.
Right.
The third one is you can set in your implement width. Because what I didn't point out up here is headland management.
All right.
So you can set up a headland management system. Okay, this is all pre-GPS, but it's still got headland management system on it. So you set up your implement width. The next thing you can tell is the service hours, and then of course we can adjust the clock.
Yeah.
Okay, it says 8:37 on
Yeah, I think she's about
13:26. That's the hours. Okay, and if I want to get out of it, I just press that. So as an operator, I've got certain limitations to which I can do. Now, when I want to actually go into it, okay, this is actually a group service tool piece of kit, so you wouldn't get that as a farmer. So farmers have got different levels that they work on. If we turn the old ignition off, okay, and I'll switch this on. In fact, what I'll do is I'll come out of it for you.
Is that just constantly plugged in on this one then?
It's plugged in.
Yeah.
Okay. I put this particular one in when we had it, because obviously I didn't want to keep taking. What you do is take the cover off, and you have to put another plug in the other end.
Right.
So I put this on, gave soldiers, and I put this in this way, left it in. Okay.
Yeah.
Just so you're aware, just by your heels, there's a little box. That was the thing I helped develop, which we put in using a computer. We could pulse into the tractor, so it actually stops the tractor doing certain things. Let's take the simplest one. It's actually the horn not working, but you can actually get the windscreen wipers not to work. You can get you can't select certain gears, so fault finding on that. So it's a fault finding thing. The next couple of weeks we're bringing up some boards from Otley, which linked into this. Okay, but I need a fancy old Windows 95 computer. Runs that. That's all it needs. Okay. Anyway, this is what I'm going to do. This is actually the JCB one. So I'm going to go into something called GST, which is Group Service Tool, and then it comes up with this. So I'm going to let you do a little bit of programming now.
Right.
Okay. Now, if you press menu, you'll see what you should find along the top. You should find setup.
Yep.
All right. Now, if you press enter on the setup,
where am I looking for it now? There we go. Vehicle type 3185.
Right, okay, I'm going to get you to do this. Loose. Wake up. Right. There's loads and loads of bloody.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So what we did is we went through that.
Time.
Okay.
Mhm.
You've gone through that.
Yeah.
I've done that for you. We're now going to go into this.
What are you doing? Huh? Why is it so loud?
It's a drill, Lewis.
Well done, dipstick. Get some grinding paste or something for it.
Oil. Okay. Right. So you've got this one here. Set up.
Slam it.
Okay, from vehicle type. I'm going to let you do some of this. Right. Okay. The first thing we look at, and when you press the vehicle type, what you should get is...
Yeah, it's
vehicle
asking for the model, pretty much.
So what you do is the arrows to left and right, you should find 2115. This is the baby of the tractor group.
2115.
Get it?
Mm-hmm.
Enter it,
Enter again, yep.
and then move on to the next one. You should get vehicle speed,
Vehicle speed, yep.
50k.
So we can limit this.
You can, yes.
Right.
Okay, you can actually switch it down. We then go on to the next one, which is language,
How do I switch up that? Do I just hit
Just
enter
enter
again? Yep.
and then move on, and you should get language.
Yeah, I got that. Oh, I pressed it too far.
Now the next one you should get is tyre size.
Yep, we got that
Now
again.
the tyre size on this one is a 540/65 R28.
Hmm.
So what you do
Right.
is you right arrow it or left arrow it, and you should pick up. Don't worry, you
2,
carry
4,
on, mate.
6, 5, 28. Yeah, we got
Okay.
them.
And the funny number down here is this rolling radius. Carry on, don't worry about me.
So I hit down, rolling radius.
Is 4.238, is
Oh, I need to actually.
it? You don't need to enter it. I think it should be there.
It was 230.
Oh, okay.
So I'll leave it at 0 or change it to 8?
0, it doesn't matter.
0, okay.
Right, the next one,
Enter again.
enter.
Enter.
It should get a serial number.
Hang on, is there a wheel switch? Is the wheel slip switch fitted?
Sorry?
It's asking me about that.
Wheel slip.
Yeah.
Indicator. Is it on?
Where is it?
That's this one here. Yeah. Switch.
no.
Is it on or off?
Nothing's on.
No, sorry, it will be if you turn the ignition on.
So, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next one?
Is there a flow divider?
Yes, there is.
Yep.
The flow divider is just down there. Well, we've had to put a metal plate underneath it because if you actually switch it on, it'll boil the oil because it shuts the system down.
So it's not all that good.
And it's been switched off. Well, again, it's done by people not knowing how to use it.
I think the
that
tractor's turned the ignition in on. Yeah, it's not happy with
Okay, just turn the ignition on then.
that. Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
And then it should now start communicating with it. Is it not happy?
Continue. It's saying escape. So
Or is it taking you right back to the beginning again?
enter serial number.
Right, the serial number.
Have I done something wrong here, or is this
No. The
completely
serial
fine?
number is. Where the hell did I see that? It does tell me what the serial number is. There it is. It's 0738
0738
009.
009.
That means it was the 9th tractor off the line. Okay. So next one has obviously gone into. Is there a wheel slip switch? Is it?
Hang on, fast track. Yeah, we've pretty much gone back to the beginning. Press menu key for options. Setup from vehicle type. Should I go?
Or you could go to the next one. Vehicle VIN number.
VIN number.
Okay. And this time you have to put in 1355
1355
00
00
738
738
009.
09.
And that is the quickest way to do it. Because that would follow that particular tractor setup, the
Right.
original set. It doesn't take into account, this is why you do it this way, it doesn't take into account any of the actual additions you put onto it.
Right.
Right?
So enter
Right.
on that. And it's
that's-
asking me about English again.
Okay.
Right.
Just okay it.
Okay. Tyres. Okay again.
Yeah.
Is there a fuel flow meter fitted?
Yes.
Yep. New fuel flow pulses 1000. I've no
Yes.
idea. Yep. Okay. Fuel return pulses 1000.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Is the wheel slip switch fitted? Yeah, we've already had that one, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a flow divider? Yeah, that was what that one down there, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Fuel lever sensor, type 2 stick,
What's the other one? Just press down. I think there's a lever. What's it?
arm.
Arm. It's an arm.
Stick or arm?
Arm.
Arm. Alright.
So you've had that out a few times, I can show you.
Racing data log, and it's reset back to menu.
Right, okay. Now,
So we're
if
just
you
going
go
through.
into- if you
This is
move-
going all right then. No?
Yeah. Now, what happens now is you've got different levels you can go through, so you can set up various things, the date and the time, and all sorts of funny things like that. Pulses. Now, what I want you to do is move across to logging.
Logging.
Enter.
Enter just on
Yes.
download
okay.
data log.
Download data log. That's all I need you to do.
Yep.
And what it'll do, it'll download all the faults we got on here.
0.6% of data log used. Erase. Yes. No.
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 So I want to keep it for other people to see it, you see.
Okay.
Okay, so we can clear all that out. So next time we come, we can actually see it.
Okay.
Just so you're aware, when we go into the different levels, there's the levels the farmers can use, and there's dealers can use, and the manufacturers can use. And the higher the level, obviously, the further up the chain, so people
Yeah.
can't, certain people can't use it. But you can actually tell how many times somebody's driven off the handbrake on. You see little things like
Yeah.
that.
You can with the new command centers on John Deere's and
That's
stuff.
right. Now, can you see any? Can you read any of the numbers on there?
We've got 7 logged.
7 logged. What are they?
I'll start at 7 because it's at the top, and that is recorded at this current error.
Mm-hmm.
ERR, which I just assume
Error.
means error, yeah. Z211.
Now that's interesting because they're using Z codes here.
Mm-hmm.
The Z211 is actually data log is downloaded by Service Tools. So we download it by Service Tools. So that's not an error.
That's not an error. That's just a
It's
fact.
just a Z code, yes.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
Z200.
Z200's maximum vehicle speed occurred. Okay, so
Right.
it's actually been up to maximum speed.
So somebody's been going
Yeah.
flat out. Yeah.
Okay. And then Z221.
No, we've got a Z224.
224's maximum transmission temperatures occurred.
Right, so they were going flat out and a bit
Yeah.
hungry. A bit heavy. Then Z223.
223's maximum engine coolant temperature occurred.
Then Z222.
222's maximum voltage occurred. So the thing's been working hard.
Z221.
221's maximum engine revs.
Then we got Z220.
220 maximum vehicle speed occurred again.
Mm.
Now what you will find, and this is kind of this sort of thing. Okay,
What have we got?
and this has got ECU IDs. D stands for display,
Mm.
and T stands for transmission. So the D1, and what you do is you go and look in the back of the book. The D1 is, in
Right.
fact, it will tell you what the faults are on the machine as well. But the D1 is something nice and simple. Internal fault, so it's a ROM memory error. Okay, so it needs to be reprogrammed. The EMS on this,
Right.
using updated software. So I could download the software on there back onto this again. So that's what that does. Another one which you might find is a D33, D033,
Yep.
and that is no fuel meter feed signal. So there's no signal coming from the fuel meter.
Right.
Okay, so silly little things like that.
But it's all got to be there,
And
hasn't it?
over voltage interface is somebody's tried to jump start with a 24 volt battery, so they can actually tell that too. Okay,
So I suppose if something had warranty on the battery or something and they just look in the log, well, you've tried jumping it.
so you try jumping it.
Mm.
It's got even more sophisticated because it's continually monitored, you see.
Mm.
What else have we got? Got the T ones. What have we got?
Literally all we've got is Zs though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I pick up a T1, for example, which is T10, the T10 one is telling me that the snail solenoid is open circuit. So it's not picking up into snail, but that's actually doing that anyway, so it does change. So okay, so that's what that's all about. So in this essence, then, all we're doing is we're diagnosing some faults in here.
Yeah.
And they're actually looking through that using the CAN bus system. That's what it's reading. It's reading its brain, basically.
Yeah.
It's plugged into brain to see what's going on. Okay, but otherwise, if you look at it, it's not that different from other tractors. You've probably got more suspension on it. You've probably got better suspension on it than on most tractors. If you look at the majority of new tractors, they've got suspension on the front and not on the back.
Yeah.
So the front end model, but this is on a ladder frame, which gives it suspension all round. So you've got less checking around that goes on in here. Okay? Yeah. So if you switch it off, and that now you can shut that down.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah.
You want to continue? Do you want to continue?
Jack, you need to do this now. You can come do this now.
It's a really nice bit of kit, isn't it?
It is actually. It's not bad for its age. What's it? 20,
Ryan,
17,
come do this.
17 years old?
Come do this.
I like it.